Hi, my name is Madison Pogue, and this is my wildcard speech on what makes a sport a sport. I've always grown up around sports, so this has always kind of been subconsciously brewing in my head, so I'm really excited to talk about it today. So, a little disclaimer before we get started. If you believe that something is a sport that I do not, or vice versa, it's okay. It's all completely based on what you believe or what you feel is a sport or what is not a sport. Don't let me tell you what is or what is not. But I'm going to explain myself on why I feel the way that I feel about certain sports, and I just hope that you will hear me out. And yeah. So I'm going to start off right off the bat giving you my opinion on what is a sport and what is not a sport. So some sports include basketball, baseball, track, football, all of that sorts of stuff, and then non-sports. So this includes cheerleading, e-gaming, and gymnastics, which will probably make some people upset. I'm going to explain myself, but yeah, those were the first three that came to my head, so I had to put them on here. But if you don't know what e-gaming is, it's where you literally are playing video games. And some people consider that a sport. If you do, I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying I'm going to explain why I don't personally believe that that should be considered a sport. So the three main points that I'm going to be talking about are uniforms, fact versus opinion, and winners versus losers. So these are just the three main characteristics I feel like each sport should have, and I'm going to go in more depth now. So uniforms. This is super basic. Even things that aren't sports have uniforms, but I just thought that this was actually a key component in sports. So uniforms, everyone should look alike that is on the same team. So shirts, pants, shorts, socks, sometimes hats. I have a couple examples. The top is a baseball team and the bottom is a soccer team. Those are just some examples of uniforms for some teams, and those are professional teams. So you can kind of see just like different examples of uniforms, but I feel like everyone should look the same or at least similar so that everyone can know that they're a part of a team and that they are together and that they are competing together. So we're moving on to based on fact. This is the main point that I feel like is what makes me think, is that a sport or is it not? So I personally believe that opinion should not be the main focus when it comes to who wins or who loses a competition. So, for example, in track, if someone crosses the finish line first, there is someone there tracking the time that it takes them to get from point A to point B. So, if someone finishes first, they can go and they can look at the times and compare the first person across, the second person across, the third person, and so on and so forth, and prove that the first person across the finish line won over all the other people because they had a faster time than everyone else. So on the flip side of that, gymnastics and cheerleading. So we're going to take cheerleading, for example. When they cheer and when they stunt and all of that stuff at competitions and everything like that, they are getting judged based on the judges' opinions on whether they're better at certain things than other people, which I feel like is based solely on opinion, or at least mostly on opinion. So I feel like that kind of disqualifies it from being a sport compared to other things such as baseball, basketball, track, volleyball, and those sorts of sports. And then another kind of basic thing, kind of go along with the uniforms, is that there should be a winner and there should be a loser. Competition is a part of sports. You need to compete to win, and that should be a big part of sports. I've always grown up with the thought process of everyone cannot be a winner. So you want to strive to be the best you can be so that you can be the winner, because no one likes to lose. And that's just what sports are about. So yeah. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope I didn't make anyone too upset.